Hey, so just before we start, I just want to say I do look a bit dead this morning. Um, well, I was out late last night, so that's all you need to know. But recently, when I've been around friends or people I know or just on the internet, I've noticed a lot of people are depressed these days, and it's crazy how many people have suddenly just gone depressed within the last 5 years of time. It started off as obviously people not just wanting attention. They obviously thought that if I'm going to cut myself on my wrists or my arm, my thighs, this is releasing my pain inside and it's getting rid of all the pain that people have brought into me from being bullied and stuff. So they obviously thought it helped, and because they thought it helped physically in their mind, they believed it was helping them. And then obviously other people who were depressed would copy them and get a relief of being happy from it again, thinking they were alright because that's what they heard and that's what they believed. But then people who were known as emos, who were also probably depressed and started cutting, everyone started to say if you're an emo, you're depressed. If you cut, you're an emo. It's not how it works at all. You don't have to be an emo to cut yourself because you're depressed. If you're depressed, it's because you've been bullied. It's not because you like listening to punk rock music. I mean, you could listen to Justin Bieber and cut yourself. Actually, that was a very bad example from what happened recently. But my main point is, I was at a party last night and I was sat next to this girl and I could see on her arm that she had about 7 or 8 just red marks there, and it's not, well, it's quite obvious if it's a self-harm mark or not. And obviously I've had past experience knowing what it's like with self-harming and people who've done it, so I could tell that she's self-harm. And it's just crazy the amount of people that do it now, because I used to see people who were dead happy and I just thought they were happy about their life, but obviously it turns out to not be. They were very upset about everything that was going around them because they were bullied. But obviously it does show that a smile can just change so much for someone. So there's this girl I know, I'm not going to say her name, she probably knows who she is. She's a good friend of mine, and she self-harms, and it's not nice to know that she does. I know quite a lot of people who have self-harmed before and who do self-harm, and for me to be in a situation of trying to help them, it's not easy, because they say I just push everyone away. I can understand why they think that. It's because people don't know what to say to them when they've said to them that I've cut myself, what do I do, or I want to die, I want to commit suicide. They just think, well, it's a bit weird. But obviously I know I'm more sensible, I can help, I can understand what they're on about, what they're going through, where most people would just think, what a complete idiot, and walk away. I remember years ago, I was probably in year 7, year 8, I went through a stage of being quite depressed and I was a bit of an emo at the time, and I hung around with a few people who self-harmed, but at the time I didn't really know about that, and I'd see cuts on their wrists and it was plainly obvious, I could see it, but I wouldn't think much of it because I wouldn't know what it was. But it was only the last 2 years I've started to realise how people are. I seen a hashtag the other day that said cut cake, not your wrist. I like it because it's quite meaningful for people who do self-harm. If you don't self-harm, you probably won't think so deep into it. But I'm trying to put the point across that people who self-harm don't do it for attention. If they take photos of it, it's mainly for Tumblr, and if that gets leaked to Facebook, that's not their fault. So you don't need to say, oh, it's stupid, they should die, they deserve everything they get. Why? Because you've bullied them? Because you've basically told them to go die for being another human being just like yourself? If you think of it like that, it's not fair, really, that you can say someone should die and you can just laugh about it because you were the one who pushed them so far that they actually want to kill themselves. And that's quite deep, someone to want to end their whole life when there's so much in life that we don't even know about. We're still teenagers, we're still young. We probably don't discover most of life until you're at least 40 when you've lived most of it. That's about half your life at an average age. So I'm not saying if you're depressed, cut yourself. I'm not saying be someone else. Be yourself. If you do self-harm, then that's you, that's who you are. so no one else should be able to say different. So I hope I've kind of got my message across. I'm not too sure what I wanted to say because I didn't want to say nothing too much. Basically my point was the amount of people that self-harm nowadays. Just keep your mind occupied, leave the house, go on long walks, don't lock yourself in your bedroom because it's the worst thing to do, because you do know it's going to lead to something else, where if you could just get that little bit of energy, just stand up, walk out your door and just run for a mile or something, and just sit outside, cry. But believe me, it will release just as much as it would to cut yourself. Just try it. Just run out to a place where no one can hear you and just scream, let it all out. So I hope I've got my point across a little bit in this video. I'm not sure how well it's turned out, but I'll see you again soon.